Hello my friends, William Poloniak here from Whole Health Foundation. Today I'm making another garden harvest juice with cucumbers, bell peppers, a number of other greens, and a number of other ingredients. Let's look at those ingredients. See my friends, I have my cucumbers, 6 bell peppers, collard greens from 3 plants, choosing the large leaves, about 5 pounds of tomatoes, 150 grams of turmeric, 120 grams of ginger, a whole garlic clove, and French sorrel. So let's start making juice. The first thing I want to point out is I'm using the front-loading feed tube. This front-loading feed tube has 2 advantages. One is you will never get blowback up to your ceiling. And you can see in here to see whatever the produce is. I'm also installing the near zero blowback cutter, which has over 80 teeth cut into the 5 blades. Now it's a hot and sunny day in sunny Southern California, and it's over 27 degrees on my thermometer. You can go as high as 35 or 40, but I like to keep my temperature below 20. So let's feed in some ice cubes. And I'm going to alternate with tomatoes and bell peppers. Now the bell peppers are too big, so we have to cut them in half or even quarter them. Let's see how it works by cutting in half and stuffing them in. Yeah, that'll work. Now larger cucumbers we have to cut in half. Very liquid produce like cucumbers and tomatoes, we need to follow that with greens and not so liquid produce. Add 3 more of these collard greens, we'll roll it into a tube. More collard greens. I'm going to follow that with the rest of my turmeric. And then some garlic and ginger. Now as you can see, my container is full, and I still have carrots and bell peppers and French sorrel to juice. So what I'm going to do is take a container and transfer some of this pulp into another container, because I obviously have too much here. Now here's the last of my French sorrel, and I'm going to follow that with a couple of carrots, and then I'm going to clean my grid and finish off the carrots. I'll clean my grid and then I'll finish the carrots. Whenever you do greens, clean your grid often. The more often, the better. I clean mine every 3rd or 4th time that I pass greens through the machine. You want to keep your temperature below 20 if you can, although you can go as high as 35 or 40. I like to keep mine below 20. Now here's the last of my carrots. And I want to point out one of the reasons I love this front loading feed tube. You can see inside without having to get a ladder and look down, and I see that all of the produce is shred. I can even see the cutter down there. But I always like to put a couple of fingers full of pulp in there just to be sure and force anything through that I might not have seen. And then we'll clean the grid, mix the produce, and make some juice. With a large knife, clean the produce out of the feed tube. Now with the cleaning brush, clean the feed tube. Now this cleaning brush comes with all juicers sold by Whole Health Foundation, but if you can find a large one at your local store, use the large one, not the small bottle brush. And clean the cutter, and next I'm going to clean the front of the machine. Now with a wet brush, clean the front of your juicer, especially around this round escutcheon, and loosen the pulp. And with a damp cloth, or if you have a spray nozzle like I do, spray the front. Then reassemble. Whenever you have carrot pulp with greens, you do not need to use a bamboo liner with your cloth. If you have only green juice, you do need to use a bamboo liner. And for some reason, the carrot pulp absorbs the juice and the green pulp, and you don't need a bamboo liner. And I keep cloths in the freezer in sets of 6. Crack the ice in the corner of the table to make them easier to separate. And then we're going to show you my 6-cloth less work method. Okay, we're going to put 3 scoops in each cloth. Later we'll put only 2 scoops, but to begin we start with 3 scoops. Folded in thirds just like they came in the package, a little crease at the back to enable your folding. I'm going to set this aside and press 2 cloths full of pulp each time. Now watch very closely. 2 cloths go in the press, centered left to right, centered front to back. That's very important. Adjust if you need to, all the way back, and you back it off. Now the reason you back it off is you don't want these cloths to go up too fast. You don't want them to slip apart. So let's continue. Here's the last of my cloths. And here's my 6-cloth less work method. First I'm going to advance that before I finish folding the last cloth. And then these 2 go forward, these 2 go over, and the spent cloths go on top. 2 more cloths in the press. Again, very important. Centered left to right, centered front to back. Adjust if need be all the way back. Back it off a little bit. Now, never throw away your pulp. Never throw away your pulp. I can see around the edges that it's damp. There's still more juice in here. But what we do now is put 2 scoops on top of the old pulp. And we'll pull that into a tight package. Set it aside. And now that I've got less pulp in here, I'm going to take this other container, pour the pulp in, mix it, and then we'll continue. Now I'm filling my bottles from the backside so the camera gets a good look, and I'm leaving 8 to 10% at the top because I'm going to top it off with filtered water because the juice is very, very rich, and full strength I think is too much, especially for a diabetic. Continue pressing until we're done, and I'll show you next how you can get 10% more juice by repackaging this spent pulp. 2 more cloths in the press. Now my friends, as you can see, I've repackaged all of the already pressed and spent pulp into 3 double packets, and I'm going to use a measuring beaker to show you how much extra juice we can get by repackaging instead of throwing away that pulp. Now there's 19 ounces of juice, and it's going to overflow, and I still have 4 packets of repackaged juice to press, so I'm going to pour this into the collection bowl. Now I'm topping these bottles off with water, and it looks like we got 20 bottles of juice during this juicing session. Well, my friends, as you can see, we have 5, 10, 15, 20 bottles of juice, and remember, about 1.5 of these bottles came from pressing the already spent pulp, and we're getting about 10% more juice that way, and we have enough here for a taste test. Now my friends, let's do a taste test. In this batch we had bell peppers, a large batch of tomatoes, collard greens, French sorrel, and a few other ingredients that you saw at the beginning of this video. So let's give it a taste. Delicious, another garden harvest juice. Well, my friends, I hope you like what you've seen, and if you did, please tell a friend. If you'd like to call me to either buy a juicer, buy parts, or upgrade your juicer, my number is 760-753-0321. My email address is developtrust@cox.net, and my webpage is wholehealthfound.com. See you in the next video.